Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at the final figure that I've picked up from the 40th anniversary line of Black Series 6-inch figures, and in today's review we are going to take a look at this guy. This is of course the Tatooine junk scavenger turned gunslinger, it would appear, the Jawa. This is a really nice figure, although it's not without its flaws, and in my opinion this figure just feels a little bit too much like an upscale 3 3/4 inch figure. It doesn't bring a whole lot new to the table in regards to a 6-inch figure, although as far as Jawas go, this is probably one of the best. So it really depends on your personal opinion of this figure as to whether or not you feel like it's worth picking up, but hopefully my review will sway you either way. So before we go into more detail about the figure itself, let's take a quick look at the packaging that he comes in. Once again, we do get this guy on a very nice 40th anniversary vintage style card, which features the Star Wars logo at the top there, as well as the 40th anniversary logo in the corner on a nice foil background. Below that you've got an image of the Jawa from the movie, and of course off to the side you've got the much smaller plastic bubble where the figure would sit. Got the Kenner logo at the bottom of the card, and then on the reverse side you've got the 12 back layout featuring the other figures available in the line, and of course an image of that legacy display stand that is included with Darth Vader down at the bottom. And somewhere down the line I'm hoping to give you a video and an overview of my completed display, which I'm really excited about. So that is the card back that this figure comes on. Very nice packaging indeed, and I will be very sad to see these go. These were obviously only available as part of a limited time for the 40th anniversary celebration. Hopefully we see them again later on down the line, perhaps for the 30th anniversary of Empire, which won't be very far off, a couple of years down the line. So very nice. One thing to point out, as always with my reviews, if you want to pick up the figure that I'm reviewing for you, a link is provided down in the video description. However, with this figure, at the time of filming this review, like with the Death Squad Commander that I gave you a look at in my last video, he's currently out of stock, and I'm not 100% sure when new stock is due to arrive, if at all. And that's mainly due to the rumours that Hasbro have ceased production on Wave 2 of the 40th anniversary Black Series 6-inch figures, which is a damn shame because these haven't been made readily available and only a select few have been able to get their hands on them. So if you see this guy out in the wild, grab him while you can, because I'm not sure when you're going to see him again. At the time of filming this review, the two figures in the 40th anniversary line, the Death Squad Commander and the Jawa, are the only two figures not to be released on standard Black Series cards. So when we see these figures released again is anyone's guess, but again, if you see these, make sure you grab them when they're available. If you want to purchase this one from Star Action Figures, again, you can't do so at the time of filming this review, but the link is there if you want to keep checking back. So with regards to the figure, as I mentioned at the beginning of the review, I am a little bit underwhelmed by this guy, and that's mainly because he just feels like an upscaled rather, 3 3/4 inch figure. He doesn't bring a whole lot new to the table in terms of a 6-inch figure. There's no double jointed articulation, there's no soft goods. Detail is absolutely spot on, but I don't know, it just feels like someone threw this guy in a, the original release of the Black Series 3 3/4 inch Jawa, threw it in a growth machine and this was spat out. And again, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I just feel like something different should have been done and tried out with this guy, but that's maybe just me being really picky. As I said, as far as Jawa figures go, this is one of the best. Detail is outstanding, and this is definitely a figure, in my opinion, that you should add to your collection, especially if you're a fan of sort of background characters and aliens. In terms of articulation, we'll run through that first and then we'll touch base on the accessories and details. He does feature a ball joint at the head, although left and right is about as far as this guy can look. He does have a hinge from what I can gather, but obviously the articulation is hindered by the plastic hood, which is a little bit of a shame, but no major issue in my opinion. I'm just going to throw this guy on a shelf and look at him. He doesn't need to be able to look up, down and all around. He does feature a single joint at the shoulder and elbow. Again, no double joint in the elbow as we've seen with other Black Series 6-inch figures. We have hinges at the wrists, a ball joint at the torso, and with regards to the lower body, well, that's just anyone's guess because these plastic robes don't allow access to the legs themselves, and I'm really not 100% sure what articulation is going on under there. I know we have articulation at the ankles, although whether or not these are rockers, I think they're rockers. Yeah, we have a hinge and a rocker at the ankle, and from what I can gather we have hinges at the knees and at the hips, but I'm not entirely sure whether this guy has swivels at the upper thighs, although as you can see from the restricted posability and from the plastic lower robes, articulation points such as those are pretty much rendered useless. I would have really liked to have seen the lower portion of these robes being made from soft goods, just so you could access those articulation points a little bit better, or at least a slit in the side of the robes themselves, just so you could analyse that a little bit better and get a better look at some of the detail. As a display piece it works fine, you know, functionality is at its best if you're just going to stick this guy on a shelf, but to play with it, move it around, it's limited at best, and that's a damn shame. In terms of the detail, however, this one is a stunner. It really, really is. There's some great weathering on the utility belt or the bandolier there, with the pouches and the straps and all that sort of stuff, and that's the same around the back. You've got this really nice sculpted texture in the robes themselves. They look really nice and tattered and worn. And you've also got some sand scuffing around the bottom of the robes there, which look as though this figure's been dragging his robes through the Tatooine sand, which is really cool. And that detail continues onto the feet too. What I really like about the sculpted element of these robes is the fact that they've actually sculpted the robe over the foot, so it gives it that natural free-flowing look. And overall, I think I've been a little bit too critical in this review. I don't know, I just really don't know what I was expecting from this guy, and I still to this day don't know where I stand with it. I can't make my mind up whether I love it or whether I'm just really, really underwhelmed by it. I can't make my mind up, so again, it's all down to personal opinion with this one. In terms of accessories, he comes with some really nice ones. You've got what I'm assuming is some sort of blaster, or I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's a deactivator for the restraining bolts, although I may be mistaken. I'm not 100% sure what this accessory is called, although there is a wire that attaches to some sort of communication device at the back, and this accessory itself can be inserted into the holster on the belt there. Now, one thing to point out is that due to the thin barrel at the end, which as you can see is very bendy, perhaps prone to snapping, it's quite tricky to get this thing into the holster, so do be careful when storing this weapon away. Once it's in there, it looks great and it fits in there nice and snugly, but getting it out is a little bit of a pain, so just be aware of that when purchasing this figure. And the other blaster, the Ion Blaster I believe this is called, is really, really nicely done. The paint applications on this thing are absolutely gorgeous. It looks really nice and worn, rusty almost, and it just looks nice and dirty, really worn, and that just adds so much depth to this weapon and to the figure overall, which I absolutely love. As you can see, there's some great detail in the bandages around the face as well, and a really nice touch that I wasn't aware of until recently was the fact that the eyes actually light up in the dark, which is really, really cool. So again, as far as Jawa figures go, this one is definitely one of the best. It just feels a little bit too much like a 3 3/4 inch figure for my liking. Again, it doesn't really offer anything new in terms of a 6-inch figure. There's no real differences between this and the previously released 3 3/4 inch versions. So again, because of that, it really is down to your own personal opinion as to how you feel about this figure. Again, I love it. I'm really happy that I added it to my collection. I think I was just expecting a little bit more. Whether or not that was warranted, I'm not sure, but leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think of this figure. I'd love to hear from you. So that's going to do it for this review of the Jawa. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at this guy, and I will be back with some more reviews very soon. I've got some Lego sets to give you a look at, some older Black Series figures as well from Rogue One and the original trilogy and beyond. So stay tuned for all of those, and until next time, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.